All right, day 6. No, day 5. Day 5. Couple things to keep in mind when you're doing the door. Don't put it right up against an end post. Like you'll have 4 inches of steel sticking out past the side of the door. It looks like crap. And underneath the door, I'm going to cut into our skirt a little bit here because final grade is going to be a couple inches below. But then I'm going to cut this trim out afterwards and just leave the skirt exposed. The reason for that is no matter what you put here, it gets banged up because you knock the snow off your boot or whatever and you kick the trim, and before long it all starts peeling off. It looks like ass. So just, if anything, paint the skirt, but or put a solid metal, like metal plates rest. Just leave the wood, cut this out. We're going to cut these out and see where we go from there. Put a board on top here just for the trim. The rest of the trim can get nailed to the strapping there. I also put a couple of boards underneath the door, and the reason for that is until there's concrete underneath, people step on it. I don't want it tipping, but I also don't want the concrete to go underneath the door because the concrete's going to lift up and down with the ground, but the building's going to stay put. So basically I want to put something to keep the concrete from sticking to the wood. I usually use sill plate, like the foam stuff, just staple it to it, and that way the concrete has a chance to go up and down, but not take the door with it, because otherwise the door won't close properly in the winter. Yeah, we'll go hang the door and go from there. Peel the stickers off as soon as you can. The sun hits it. It's really hard to get that stupid sticky stuff off. Starting off level is always nice, but basically when the door is closed, see how that corner's sticking out? Like that. Now when I pull the door closed, it goes back, because if there's an opening at the top here, when I close it, it'll actually twist the door. So I always put the screws kind of in the middle and close the door, see where it ends up, and I want a nice tight seal all the way around. And then on the inside, I want the gap to be the same. Now, I got a little wider gap at the bottom here than I do here, so I can tilt, and it's the opposite on this side. So what I can do is bring the door over that way just a hair. Now I did frame it kind of tight. You can see the light there. That's for the spray foam. But yeah. It takes a little bit to get it straight. The 2x4s end up nicely on the edge of the door there. You got to use shims to make it do what you want it to do. I always put 2 together so that you have a nice even, so you can get it smaller and bigger. If you do 1, then the frame wants to tilt. So putting 2 together and just cutting them both on the outside works really slick. Our gap ended up pretty even all the way along. It's a touch wider on the bottom here, but it closes really nice even without a door handle in it. The seal is nice all the way around. Now I put the shims in. I tack it first with a screw that I don't put in all the way, and then I find the right spot and I put a couple screws in from the outside that way. If you can't get at the outside, you can put the screws behind the door seal where nobody sees them, which is just a nice way to keep it clean if you're not trimming this. But I'm actually putting the brown trim all the way around and tucking it in this seal here on a brake, and that finishes the door off really nice. We want it to look nice with the trim. Alright, we have a 10-foot opening, or 10-foot high, 12-foot wide. Our trim is only 10 feet long, so what I really want is 10-foot 2, because I want to make a neat little 45 on the top. So rather than using a small piece, which you can't make look good with a 45 and everything, I just cut another 2-foot piece and put it on the bottom. Again, you don't really look down, you never see that seam, but people do kind of look up at the building. Wow, nice building, right? So this cut's pretty simple. Just whatever the width of this trim is, so mine's 1 7/8. I just cut down 1 7/8 and then scribe a line with a square and then just fold that over. This will tuck underneath the header there. And then my top piece, I'm gonna cut on a nice 45, and then it'll overlap, but it'll have tin underneath it. So when the metal expands and contracts, you'll never have a gap here. If you cut this one on a 45, then you have a chance of not having a perfect cut, or different temperatures, you're gonna see a little gap there and a chance for moisture and stuff to get in. And then the trim, when you lay the top piece on, take the trim and cut it past and then fold it over. That way any water has a chance to go and run down the side of this rather than in behind. Just a neat little trick. The nails for the back here, keep them at the very back, and that will get hidden by the door seal on the overhead door. Also make sure that your factory edge is on the bottom and that you cut the extra 2 feet off at the top. And see how the seam nicely disappears? If you have your snip cut there, you're gonna see something. For the roof steel, we drill on top of the rib so that that's the least amount of water that's gonna sit there, right? 2, 27, 50 and a half, 74 and a half, 98 and a half, 122 and a half, 146 and a half, 170, and 180. Oh, it's a good day. The crane was driving by and we asked him to boom the steel up for us, and he did, so we're good to go. So I went home to bend this trim here to fit in the door nicely. I got to cut that shorter yet. I also needed some more water and charge the battery in the camera, but I forgot the charger. But this is bad practice, coming back and leaving a ladder up, because I guess the wind comes and blows it, and you got a nice half moon scratch all the way down your steel. So don't do that. Don't be like me. It's a nice day, but don't be like me. Here we go. All right, that's day 5, 3 o'clock. I gotta go and pick up my girls. Daycare called. All right, she wants to go, I don't know. That's what we did. Trimmed it, Tyvek'd it, and got some wall steel on, and the roof steel's on the roof. So not a bad day. It's 3 o'clock. I gotta go get my girls from daycare, hang out with them for a couple hours. They'll probably come back tonight because he's not far from home, and finish up some stuff. I kind of want to get this wall done. So 10 to 9, yeah, if I didn't have to get the girls, we could have got a lot more done. I don't want to start the gable because I'm going to lose light in about 45 minutes, and it's going to get half done, and that looks stupid. So I don't think I can be here the rest of the week. We're waiting. I got to grab the door yet, and then waiting for guys to have time to do the roof steel on, and then we'll pound her off in a day. So yeah, 6 days, but yeah, I didn't have full crew today either. It was just me, so looks good. Here we go. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you love the channel, consider heading over to Patreon. There's a lot of stuff happening there to help support the channel. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.